Hi, and welcome again to the Drafthouse Diary, where I document every one of my visits to an Alamo Drafthouse Cinema armed with my Alamo Season Pass. And this diary entry is for Tuesday, May 7th, 2024, when I came out here to the Alamo Drafthouse at Littleton's Aspen Grove to see Civil War, the new A24 film by Alex Garland. I don't often talk about movie marketing in the Drafthouse Diary, but I feel I need to mention it here because I feel like this movie was sold as something other than what it is. Between the posters and the trailers and the title, Civil War, I would expect this movie to be about mass troop movements and about continental level politics and about the war. Those elements were all part of the movie, but they were background. The movie was a movie about war correspondence, about photographers and journalists attempting to do their job in the midst of a brutal and deadly conflict. The fact that it is set amid eerily familiar locations and structures and kinds of people allow us to focus on the journalists, the main characters who we are following, without being distracted by the, to us, exotic location in which they are doing their jobs, which is what often happens when you have movies about war correspondence. It's in some far-off land, and it's at least as much about what's happening there. That can be important, but here we get to focus on this very personal story about these individuals. The movie is at times very violent, very brutal, but it is also about the psychology of these people and about the ethics and morals of operating as a war correspondent in the midst of a conflict like this. The performances are excellent. By and large, the filmmaking is compelling, but there are times when I think it loses its way. Too often, it's juxtaposing the action with unexpected bits of music, and for me, that just was distracting. It pulled me out of the movie. It seemed like it was trying to be too clever. And because most of the movie wasn't about the strategy and tactics and military operations, the end of the movie focused on that so much more than the rest of it that it seemed incongruous with the story they were trying to tell. They were still using that to tell the story of these people, but it became a war movie in a way that it wasn't for most of its runtime. So I did find this movie interesting. I'm glad I came to see it, and generally, Alex Garland is always going to present me with something interesting to think about, as well as compelling to watch. Other parts of my trip to the Alamo. The pre-show was a little bit tricky because I, at first, thought it was just sort of random. I didn't recognize it as custom made for this feature, but it was, because they were showing a lot of commercials, some movie trailers. Once they got to a movie trailer for The Year of Living Dangerously, I realized that all of the commercials they had been showing were about cameras or related to photography. All of the trailers they were showing were movies that featured a war correspondent in one way or another. Even the trailer for the movie version of Jules Verne's Mysterious Island, one of the people who was stranded on the island with all of Ray Harryhausen's giant crabs and giant birds and giant bumblebees, he was a war correspondent. So it was kind of fun to have that sneak up on me in that way. I did get some food. I got the Cobb salad, which I haven't gotten here in a while. I got it with the grilled chicken. I don't really see a reason to get it with the fried chicken. And the Cobb salad here is always good, and it's a nice option. It's not too heavy, but it still has a good dose of protein. The service was good. The staff was friendly. We were in what I think is the smallest auditorium here at Aspen Grove, but it was comfortable, and the screening quality was quite good. So this was a movie that I'm going to be thinking about for a while, and a worthwhile trip to the Alamo. I hope you enjoyed this Drafthouse Diary. If you did, please click that like button down below. And if you want more of these, click subscribe. And if you've seen this movie, if you've got some opinions about this, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you thought. I'll be back soon with more. In the meantime, enjoy your movies, and when you do, stay till the end of the credits.